I am in the Bay Area in California. Not quite all the way to San Francisco, but so I look like this, very tired, on the road, or, been out doing errands at 6:30 a.m. and trying to fix what happened last week. Last week, let me back up. I'm so tired. So my daughter has been trying to test out of college or high school. She's only 16. Last week was supposed to be her second test. The system was down, and I'm at a educational, district center type thing, or not even district. It's county. So everybody can take different tests or whatever. They told me to reschedule. They already put the claim in, but call customer service. So that way I don't have to pay again or have any of the thing, Well, it was a lady with a thick Indian accent. And so our communication was a little off, but we got through it, verifying who's taking the test, because it's my daughter. And I'm trying to get it rescheduled. And then she was wondering, because my daughter is taking it on paper, but the system was down, so therefore she could not log in. And I said, yes, that's what happened. Well, she asked the question again. So I gave the phone to my daughter and was like, explain to this lady. And she's like, you're taking the paper test, right? Yes. And the system was down, so you could not log in. And my daughter said, yes. Then it was like, okay. And then she tells my daughter 3 to 5 business days and something. And so I was like, did you just say 3 to 5 business days that you will find out the results? Because the proctor just said it was already accepted. Well, to make sure I'm not getting a refund in 3 to 5 business days, all I need to do is reschedule. I call again. It's a guy. Indian accent. All right. Go through the whole system again, verifying. Then he said, oh, okay. So you're verified for that. We need to verify again for her proficiency. Not the... and so I was like, whatever. So I verify again. I was like, dude, you already have all the information. It doesn't sound familiar? Okay. And then all of a sudden, I asked the question. It was like, what test are we talking about? What date? I verify again. And then I'm just like, I want to make sure that it's for rescheduling. And then he's like, I understand your frustration, ma'am. And I'm like, what? That was a question. And then so he's like, it's almost like he's kind of just responding robotically. And I'm like, no, I just want to make sure I'm not getting a refund. That's why. And he's like, in 3 to 5 business days, go ahead and call back. Why am I calling him? Why am I? And he's like, well, on the back end team, they're going to verify. Well, why am I not talking to the back end people? Why do I have to call a non-American? Yes, I'm calling India for California. Mom, that's education. We're out of county. And this is so frustrating because it's like, my daughter just wants to take this test that I paid for. Can we schedule? No, I have to wait 3 to 5 business days and then contact them to see what the back end's office says. But I'm calling the people in India. How is this even legal? Because the person at the front desk doesn't know anything about how signing up to tests are. So I had to wait for the proctor. Talking to the proctor made me go to customer service, and customer service is in India, but India needs to talk to the back end people that are probably in America. Can I talk to the people in America? I don't care if they're India, from Spain, Mexico, Canadian, but why am I talking to people that are going off of not even answering my question, but all of a sudden says, I understand your frustration. No, that was a question. Are we rescheduling? Or are you trying to refund in 3 to 5 business days? And why am I calling you back? And then he's like, can you leave a review after this? No, you're not going to like my review. I want an English speaking, non-script, because that's just pissing me off. And now I have to sit in this parking lot waiting for my daughter taking this math test because she was supposed to write an essay. She just wants to get this over with. And like I said, I'm in the Bay Area right now. So I drive an hour to get here, to all of a sudden turn around because she couldn't take a written test on paper. Think about it. So I don't want to do this. So yeah. I don't know, guys. What, No Face? For some reason, I don't have any comments coming up. Oh my goodness. I haven't just gone live in so long. But I'm just frustrated, guys. It's really, really pretty here. Let me show you my view. It's a really, really cute town. Yeah. So the last test she took 2 weeks ago took an hour and a half. And that was the reading comprehension. Then a math. Well, it was supposed to be an essay and then the math. Oh, No Face. I'm in front of a county educational building. My daughter's taking the HiSET, which is a proficiency test. Each state has one. So instead of, hi Holly. So instead of the GED, which is for 18 and up, the HiSET is, you have to qualify. You have to be sophomore or up. She does not want to do her senior year. So she set this all up. And then when they canceled on a paper, yeah, because the system was down. Gosh, yeah. She told me to come pick her back up. And I was like, why? I know you're not done writing an essay. Oh, so yeah. She's trying to get this done. We go camping next week. So, and I'm supposed to wait 3 to 5 business days to to hear what the back end, I don't know what, can I talk to the back end people about rescheduling? I don't know. So Tahoe is next week. That's exciting. I'm camping for years now. I camp behind, well, it's a huge mountain in between, behind, Narconon, Tahoe, that has changed. They're somewhat, I don't know, they had to do a lot of regulations. A lot of regulations. I still need to do that story justice. Because Narconon is alive and well in Northern California, even though, yes, Carrie, and she's taking the math test right now. The proctor called her back. So I got into my car and called customer service again. So I first called it inside, and tried to get, to reschedule. The proctor said the claim was sent and accepted already. And, but 3 to 5 business days did not make sense to me, what they told my daughter. So I'm like, I don't want a refund. I want to just reschedule. And, they're telling me the back end people will give them confirmation and then I call back, which doesn't make any sense because I'm like, why am I calling you? What, with you waiting for the answer to give to me? I don't get it. I'm very frustrated. I want to talk to someone in America, preferably California. California would be nice because that's where I live and where she's taking the proficiency test. So I'm not sure why I'm going off as somebody that the language is not their first. Yes. Oh, what's so funny is that her first test, the reading comprehension was off of a Scantron, and they told her it will be 2 weeks. She's like, can't you just put it in the machine and it tells you right then? Yeah. It's just so frustrating. Being a parent, she's finally doing something she wants, and I'm like, I don't want the refund. I just want her to sign up again. But everything's online or out of America, in India. Oh my gosh, all these birds are playing. I don't even know if you can see. Scantron is still a thing. Oh my gosh. The fog and everything. I'm probably an hour away from, no, not an hour. I gotta be like 15 minutes away from San Francisco. Just the other way. But yep, I'm in the Bay Area. This is a cute little town. Yeah. Little birds are all playing. So those are black-eyed Susans. And the trees are crepe myrtle. And I'm just waiting for the teen. She was worried about the math. That's for sure. But I've been driving since 6:30 this morning. Oh no, Carrie. But yeah. Another Monday morning. She scheduled them consecutively all on Monday. So I got Monday coffee. Yes. And if I had a mount, I would totally mount you and go for this little cute ride. Oh my gosh. I'll go ahead and do it because it's too damn cute. It doesn't matter if I go 5 miles an hour. It's that small of a town. Just in case Sciento calls the police. She's not wearing a seatbelt. She's a criminal. But I'll go ahead and show you this. Oh, thank you, Carrie. I know. I was just like, we've been talking to her about getting a job. She's like, whoa. It's like you're jumping right into adulthood. All right. This is the freaking cutest thing, so I'm not hitting anybody. Okay. Yep, it's the Office of Education. Every county has them. Okay. Thank you for this little cute. Oh, a little kid in the middle of the street. All right. Oh, pulling another little kid. Okay. But see these houses? Oh my gosh. They're doing tree work. UC Davis graduate. See these little houses? I told my daughter, I was like, oh my gosh, we need to come move here. See, they're doing tree work. Staring at me. Why are you so cute? So cute little town. The house. My daughter has me on a tracker, so when I miss that turn, and because you're still in a subdivision, she calls me and was like, "Why are you going the wrong way?" Like, excuse me, this is not my subdivision. So this is a three-way stop with a little speed bump, and we wave each other. So usually there's so many dogs walking, dog walker. Um, see little big white fences and a bunch of trees and plants. Okay, proof they did not have red light. Look at the little mailboxes. But this is why it doesn't matter if I'm going 23 miles an hour. It's a tiny little road. But this is the Bay Area. Crosswalk. And we're going to come up to cute little white picket gates with no white picket fence. I'll show you. I mean, all right. She is not prepared for her senior year. She's testing out. See the little white picket gates, no fence. And then now I'm downtown. I'm going to take you on a little tour. This is the cutest freaking little town. This window. Turn off the car. So she's supposed to be a senior this year, Carrie Ann. She's she turned 17 September 17th. So she started kindergarten at age 4. So she'll graduate high school. She does her senior year at 17 and start just barely, like, still be 17 if she started the fall of 26. So this is the freaking cutest town. So I was on the back end. This is downtown. So the corner is Pete's. This is their town. So they're just watering the plants. But, oh, fire truck. Yeah, she was born in 2008, but it's so she doesn't have her license yet. She wants to take this test. First, take fall off, and then so she can talk to counselors at both the high school and the college, and then be able to, oh my gosh, it's like a fireplace. Dude. That clock. But and then start in what, no face, she was too cool for school. Yes, that would seem right, because she can never show up for first period. It's been hell. And so she scheduled the test at 8:30, in the Bay Area, so we have to leave the house by 7:30. And she has made it without any complaint. Nothing. No complaints whatsoever. So she can do it. It's just if it's school, she has an allergy to first period. Go figure. So yeah, that's one side of the little town, or the downtown. But I didn't know they had a little fireplace. Because my daughter's like, I just want to go eat breakfast, or she wants to go back to bed. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I did the whole thing until I was 18. When I turned 18 in April, and my mom said once I turn 18, I have to pay for my own stuff. Guess what? She did not even pay for school paper. I used paper bags as paper. And apparently I was supposed to learn a lesson that I need to pay for my own stuff, even though I was still in high school. Would never do that to my daughter. You're supposed to have them be successful, not struggle. When they're, trying. So, or at least, graduating high school. Not like you're the one kid 13 months older. Hey, I needed paper. So I cut up a paper bag and did my work on that. The water's not on. But this is a water fountain. For your safety, stay off the rocks and out of the fountain. Yeah, it's windy and cold here. Can you guys hear me? Or is it too blustery? Yeah, my brother is 13 months older than me. And he dropped out of high school. And then, so my senior year, she made it a point once I turned 18, I had to pay for everything myself. It didn't matter if I needed paper for school. That was an expense I had to figure out. Another rock formation. This is a restaurant. And that's the other part of the... That's pretty. Giant thing. There shall be no leaves on the ground. Scooter mom. So Yeah, I met with my uncle who's 86 years old and said my mom was difficult. A difficult person to get along with. And then learned her perception was so off with people. No, I never want to be like my mom. Never did. And so I double check with my daughter to make sure I'm being fair, or at least the reason why I'm, harping on you about doing the right thing or what you should do is out of love and not judgment or picking on you or making your life more difficult to succeed in. Golf Galaxy. So, no, my mom was not a nice lady. In her old age, she was the crazy, mean old lady with killer dogs. And I'm not kidding. Her dogs were trained to kill anything that came on the property. Any animal, and go after someone. It's like, what the hell, Mom? Like, it's like people were like, yeah. Because she lived in Texas. She's like, yeah, her daughter from California's here. And then when I'm walking around, I'm waving all nice and friendly. I'm the polar opposite of what my mom is and my brother is. I'm the black sheep. That's why it cracks me up with Scientology when I say hello and they were like, well, her hello was for threatening. Really? Oh my gosh, all these dogs. Yeah, no face. Part of my 2-week hell in Texas was there were these wild dogs, or dogs just roaming out in the country. And I called this Australian Shepherd a Australian Border Collie Shepherd mix, Buddy. I was like, oh, hey, Buddy, because he kept walking with me. And I accidentally brought him home, apparently. And my mom's like, don't bring dogs home. My dogs will kill it. And I'm like, what? So then I brought it home. And I waited as long as I could. And I was like, I can't anymore. I had surgery 7 months before that. Spinal fusion. And so it's just so funny because the dog went to go into the property and my mom's 2 dogs jumped on that dog. And so then I jumped on the dog and I got bit really good down into the muscle. And my mom was more upset that her dogs didn't kill it than me getting bit. So, and then my mom couldn't say she loved me. Oh, hey, the water's back. The water's on. We had to wait pretty much until 9. So, the dog got a couple of puncture wounds. And thankfully the one neighbor heard everything, saw everything, rode his bike down the country road to get the owners, and lo and behold, what was the dog's name? Buddy. Buddy. Dear Lord. So yeah, that was pretty interesting that I was calling the dog by its name. I'm like, it fits him. So, with the world so beautiful and not finding the beauty in things, my mom was just bitter old woman. And I never want to be like that. I don't care how hard life can be, because I've been through so much. Is this too loud for you guys? Yeah. No, I'm just, you can't really pick the parents that had birthed you, but I choose to learn from that experience and not get caught up in the anger and injustice of it. I'm about to celebrate my 25th, well, I pretty much did. 25th high school reunion is coming up in August, and I'm just blown away. It's been 25 years since I was 18. Like, that's just not right. And having a teen ready to leave high school and start college, but no, I'm just blown away with how mean someone can be, and that's why I know with the internet and having more power to say something behind a computer, not showing your face, it's not that hard to be kind or really to move away from a situation or a person that you don't want in your life. It's called boundaries. And I know all these different people and lifestyles and decisions. One decision doesn't make everybody. My daughter, she wants to do something. She did want to do something with plants and like something sciencey, plants or animals, but she started thinking and talking to me about social work, which is interesting, because she loved the small groups in her inpatient type I don't know how to say it, especially on a live where teens really needed help with their mental health, and so they go through a program that's intensive. And she was telling me that the first time she did it, she had to create little people describing each of her emotions. anger was a fireball. We came up with the word. Yeah, it wasn't outpatient though. It was inpatient. So they had, it was Monday through Friday though. And because they were underage, it was under the care of nurses and social workers, psychologists. So it's 8 hours a day. Well, 8 to 4, 8 to 5. For a month to 6 weeks, depending on if they discharge you. She's done it twice. The second time it got really, really bad and they immediately put her in. And then they put her in an outpatient follow-up care. Which I'm so thankful for. I'm so thankful for specialists and, stepping up to know that there is a need for. And, you even had to involve the parents. You would have 2 family meetings, so everybody was on board with the teens' need, what the parents were really thinking, and get ideas for follow-up care, kind of like how to focus as a family going forward, and what the issues were, everything. And we did that twice. Once in one town, and then they opened up the other one that was not open. They shut that down, thinking they didn't need the extra building or extra outpatient location, which is very wrong. There's especially after COVID, the teens that went through COVID, when they were supposed to do, when kids are learning how to socially get along, or the intensity of life pressures, COVID shut everything down. And so no one really interacted with one another, talked. And my daughter being the only child, she's better communicative with adults than her peers. And she feels alone a lot, even when she's in a room full of people. So it's good to recognize, hey, that's not only you, that a lot of people feel that way, especially with how COVID was, and a lot of health issues that brought with COVID, or death, and people had to deal with something that they didn't deal with for a long time. And especially now that social media and everything, your daily life. Someone's brushing their dog over there. Bring it to a semi-part. But yeah. It's just, life's hard. And you gotta enjoy the small moments and memories, create memories, because, hello, I have health issues, and then my husband has anxiety issues. He does not like out of the normal. He's a type A personality, and when you just all of a sudden spring something, well, not even spring something, I had a couple things scheduled, and he's like, I'm overwhelmed. I was like, this is why our daughter says we don't do anything. And then she's half and half of me and him. She's a conundrum in with itself. It's running around. Oh boy. No idea where the parent is. The kid thinks she's at a water park. But yeah, no, it's been, you know, trying to figure out making memories as a family. And so camping next week is going to be very, very fun. Very interesting. We'll be in a tent trailer for the first time. Been tent camping for 25 plus years. The wind blew and water got on me. So yep, I hope she feels confident in taking this math test. So Rib Guy, I am downtown in the Bay Area, and this cute little small town. She's was supposed to be taking her third test out of 3, but she has to retake one because it was rescheduled. And yeah, talk to people in India with a script. Ooh, okay, Peter. Yeah, I'm just waiting around. Normally, the last 2 times I brought my cards with me and doing the mapping, but this time I knew I needed to figure out how to reschedule her test so that way she doesn't need to do her senior year. But I'm learning as a parent too, always. I'm not the best disciplined person because I feel like I'm suppressing her. Like my mom did me, or like I give her guidelines, but it's like, you know, the world's harsher than I would be. So it's one of those things where kids these days think they're entitled, and then they get arrested and it's like, well, call my dad. Well, no, doesn't work that way. Okay, these kids belong to grandparents who are walking really slow, but the girls are running circles around them pretty much. That's pretty funny. But yep, no, life is definitely not easy, and then when you bring in how other people, what they do and everything, that just brings in other drama that I'm like, you know. Okay, so there's this thing, right? I'm gonna show you this other fountain. The water is on, but it's calmer than that one. Jax. Got Jax. Whew. This is way calmer. Oh my gosh. I have no idea if I'm going to get a strike. It's a baby. Rip guy. I know. Yep. Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, no, it's like I wish I could talk to my mom. But even when she was alive, like she was not a person that you take advice from. She would like do the opposite of whatever they did. Oh, okay, Carrie. No, I'm far from. I lose subs all the time because I'm not, I don't know. I'm not popular and that's fine. I'm living my life. I'm doing my own thing. There's Jazz over here. Okay, Scooter Mom. Yeah, so I have Michael's, Ross over here. Yeah, I'm on the back end of things. I almost want to get another coffee. But hopefully, my kid's almost done. You know, Scooter Mom, that's a good point because I really don't want to tell people or judge people because I don't want to be judged. I know people don't agree with, you know, everything I do or everything I say, everything I think. Rip guy, really? Yep. A little over 1 mile away is Walnut Creek, so this is a really cute little town. When my daughter told me the test is in San Francisco, I'm like, okay. But it brought her to Pleasant Hill. So she wasn't that too upset about it. I mean, the time, yes, 8:30 in the morning, and we have to leave an hour earlier. But if she really wants it, she's got to do it. Ooh. Definitely. And then I was like, what am I supposed to do? Because she's telling the family to feel bad for her that she has to wake up so early to take a test. I'm like, excuse me. It's the driver that gets to do nothing. Pasta primavera. My hair is crazy with the white sauce is to die for. Really? No, I'm just... Yeah, on Friday when I went out to lunch with my uncle who's 86 years old. He graduated high school in 56. So he was telling me he was when he was 16, he worked at a bowling the bowling alley in Napa. And back then, you manually put it back up the pins. And at first, you only had one lane to do. This other guy had two. And then asked him, hey, for a little while, can you go ahead and watch my 2 lanes? So he had 3. Well, he managed it pretty well. Guy came back and then and realized that he could handle, like, and he's like, yeah, just go ahead and try it. The other guy tries it. Yes, Carrie. That's why I was like, well, no, what the hell am I gonna do? But so he would bet a quarter against sailors playing pool. He called it 9-ball. And he would make more money playing pool against sailors, betting against them and winning, than he did a full days of work at the bowling alley. And I was like, you have stories. So, but he wasn't close to my mom because my mom pushed people away. Like I told my family, I was like, because my first cousin, who is about 15 years older than me, are all the first cousins. I mean, gosh, they already passed away, but they were between 70 years old down to 20 something, mid-20s. Because it's only been 4 years since she's 19, so 2021 to 23. So 70 years old to 23 years old. All first cousins. So we are widespread, spread out in age. And she was sitting there and we were talking about things. And it totally makes sense now. I was like, I am related to you people. But it was just funny because I was like, okay, I was born in the 80s, but you really need to live in the 80s as a teenager to have this, there was a lot of brothers and sisters, and then to find out family secrets. We have a secret aunt. They have a secret sister that was given up for adoption because it was out of wedlock and she couldn't afford another kid. And it was when my uncle, who's 86, was 10 years old. This is before my mom was born. My mom was born and already an aunt. Her nephew was 2 years older than her. So that's why it gets, so he would be 75 if he was alive. So yeah, 75 to 23. We're a weird family. Now we feel like, wow, that's kind of weird. And I have one uncle that's Mormon. Exactly. Well, in the 80s, I remember swimming at my uncle's, going to swim, and there were still beer bottles everywhere. And I was confused at who it was because I knew it was a cousin, but I didn't realize which one. He was having his high school reunion or high school graduation in the middle of the day. And this is like 87, 80, yeah, like 87, 1987. in the middle of the day, and it was a keg party. Cops show up, and this was like the day after the party that I'm swimming, and so the whole family's hearing about whatever his name was. It's so weird figuring out who's who. Had all these guys over, day drinking. Police come, and they come home, my aunt and uncle, and they were like, "You need to fix this. We're not home." And they went upstairs like, "Nope," because they were having the party while they were out. Well, they got all the cops to sign their yearbooks. And I was like, you didn't really live unless you lived as a teen in the 80s. Because 60s and 70s, this is Napa police. They didn't arrest anyone. They just said, "Yeah, congratulations." I was like, oh my God. And they were bringing the second keg. And thankfully, all the beer and everything was on the back end of the property, so they didn't see how much alcohol they had. And they were already through. I was like, man. And around the corner, lived my other aunt and uncle. And so all of them grew up together. So my cousin, who is 15 years older with me, and we're sitting on the couch on Friday talking about, childhood and everything. We were latchkey kids. We just walked ourselves to school and everything. And she had mentioned that her cousins at the same age are more like sisters, because they only had 3 girls and the other ones had mixed everything. And the second cousins, like their children, are more like nieces and nephews. So out of the family, they're more like, say they're related that way instead of second cousins and all that. But it's just so funny because my youngest uncle, who, geez. My uncle, who's 86, is 13 years older than my mom. There's a younger brother who's, I think, about 7 years younger than my mom, because there was there was a baby in between that died when she was 3 days old. My mom didn't know that until she was, 9, 10. Family secrets. So my uncle, and they're all named after battleships too, by the way, all my uncles that are from this grandfather. They're like halves. So the one 13 years older, my uncle, he's a half brother to my mom. So, yep, exactly. But the ones, there's 4 altogether. 3 boys and 1 girl, my mom. The 3 boys are named after battleships. My mom is named after a Provence in France. It's supposed to be Nantes, Nance, but because of World War II, my grandma would write "ham pregnant," and he would name them. Well, she read it as an I, so my mom's name is Nancy with an I. Nancy Lorraine. That's how she got a French name. Well, my uncle Jay Fletcher, is into animals, into birds mainly. He taught a pigeon. It was his prize pigeon named Whitey, all white, like pure white as a snow, with one black feather. Um, my cousin brought it to show and tell, walked with it to school on her shoulder or arm, and then presented it, and then it flew home because it was trained. We're laughing because it's just like, that's our family. We're unique. And that's what I told my daughter. I was like, well, this uncle is not as eccentric as as Uncle Jay is. And she's like, eccentric? I wouldn't say he's eccentric. I'm like, honey, who do you know that can train animals and know all bird sounds and name them and have a tortoise? Because when the tortoise came out and eating a head of lettuce, yeah, that's eccentric compared to normal day people that are not into, like, could have dogs, but not have the, pigeons that are messenger pigeons that you trained yourself. So, or go into the mountains and get obsidian and other things that are, um, fossils, and collect them, which is pretty fun and pretty cool to have different type of family members and hobbies. And that's why you may not always agree with other people's decisions, but at least they're living their life and you're living yours, however you wanted. So, yep. I'm just thankful that my family did care for me when my mom made everybody disappear. She didn't like their advice. She didn't like then. She took whatever they said as more of judgment instead of love, out of love. And so I had all these cousins my age and way above my age. And then my Uncle Jay started having kids, and that's the 23-year-old, is the youngest. Um, just, disappear, and then find out towards the end of my mom's life that it wasn't like that. They actually loved me. I did nothing wrong, to make them disappear. So, just the revelation of the past as an adult, looking back, going, damn, I would never want to do that to my daughter. You need a bigger circle, kind of like the village raises the kid, right? Sorry, my hand's starting to shake because it's the dumb one. There, kind of. Yep. No, it's just so frustrating when people make the decision and the kid has to follow it, and then living their life and not reaching out to the people that were there in the past because you don't know, what your parents said or did, or maybe you did, but they're all reaching out to me. So it's good to have closure on that end. Yeah, Carrie. So, especially connecting the dots of how my mom was so reactive to other people and making assumptions of why they would say that or do that, and it was against her, which wasn't against it. It had nothing to do with her. It's just so weird. And um, to reflect on that and to say, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to look through life and look at people like they're taking advantage of me when it's not always like that. It's good to have um, boundaries and have those red flags of like something's not right, and stand your ground of, you know, that's not going to happen. You're not going to take advantage of me. Or, you know, and actually have conversations with people instead of going, I want nothing to do with you, and totally kick someone out of your life. So that's why I'm like, be careful who you surround yourself with, but also don't look at everyone like they have evil intent. There is evil out there, trust me. I mean, I had it right in within my own, you know, family that I was supposed to love and take care of you. But it's one of those things where it's life experience, and are you going to be welcoming and like friendly, or are you just going to be jaded and pissed off at the world and hold on to that for the rest of your life? It's like, oh, hell no. I want to live my life as best I can. Like yesterday, I had nonstop, I had vertigo. And so today I'm a little airheaded type thing. Took some headache medicine and everything. I was like, okay, feel a little off balance, but I'm not spinning, thank God. Thank God I'm not spinning. But I'm not going to be angry at people for my misfortune, for, you know, for a day that didn't go my way. I'm not going to take it out on my kid. Every day is a different day, new day, and make the best of it. That's what I'm trying to do in my 40s. As life, you know, instead of watching it go by, that's why I put in my little thing. No. I am horrible at taking vitamins. Um, so, oh, yeah, Carrie, but I don't think she would listen. That's the other issue. She thinks she knew better than other people, and especially my brother. My brother thinks he's the smartest person in the room. It's those type of people that exist in this world, and no matter what you say, who says it, it doesn't matter. They know more than you. They know their life. Oh my gosh, this husky is so pretty. Oh my God, are you going to turn? Oh, there you go. Isn't he pretty? Dear Lord. Oh, team's done. That took way too long to zoom in on this guy. Okay. But yeah, that's a 30. I was 30 when I had to take 27 pills for 2 months. It was 2 months. Oh my God. It was 12 weeks, whatever 12 weeks are. I had a strict diet because I had latent TB. Looked that up. I was like, what the hell's that? So it was dormant tuberculosis, but it needed, yes, I'll do the treatment for it. It was 2 different pills for your lungs and then for your whole body. But because they were so strong, you couldn't have chocolate, couldn't have certain nuts, like mainly nut, like fish. I couldn't have bread, cheese, yogurt. It was like you were better off with the list of what you can eat. Like, holy shike. Like, yes, Carrie. Absolutely. And that's why I'm like,